Here's Johnny again. Now, I have to admit, I have been mesmerized by the testimony of Johnny Depp in his lawsuit against his ex-wife, Amber Heard. I never cared much about Johnny Depp before. I'm not some big Johnny Depp fan. But now on the witness stand in this defamation trial, he has painted himself as a victim of brutal assaults by Amber Heard. He talked about being punched and even having his finger severed off by her. Now, today was cross-examination by her attorney, and you saw a very different Johnny Depp. First, he had to confirm he sent disgusting text messages about Heard like this.
Mr. Depp, this is a text message exchange that you had with Paul Bettany on June 11th, 2013, correct?
Yes, correct.
In this text, Mr. Depp, you text Mr. Bettany, "Let's burn Amber," 3 exclamation points, right? You see that?
I do see that.
And at this time, June 11th, 2013, Amber is your girlfriend or perhaps even your fiance at this point, correct?
Girlfriend,
yeah,
for sure.
And you didn't stop when you said, "Let's burn Amber." Because the next text down, you can move down and blow up the next text, please, Michelle. You say, "Let's drown her before we burn her," 3 exclamation points. Did I read that right?
Yes, it's referring to the
and you
text prior to.
You didn't
from Mr.
stop when
Bettany.
you said, "Let's drown her before we burn her." After that, you made another comment, and I'd like to apologize to the court and to the jury for some of the language that I'm going to have to use today, but unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of documents with language like this. After you said, "Let's drown her before we burn her," Mr. Depp, you said, "I will her burnt corpse afterwards to make sure she is dead." That's what you said that you would do after you burned her and after you drowned her. Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes.
Remember, he's the one suing, right? The jury also saw this video, a wild, drunken dispute where Depp captures Amber Heard filming him.
Nothing happened this morning, you know that?
Were you in here?
No.
So then nothing happened to you this morning?
Yeah, you're right. I just woke up and you were so sweet and nice. We were not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll get That's crazy. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
And they listened to an audio recording of a fight between Depp and Heard where she tells him family members and friends are starting to see her bruises.
Okay. By the way, my family, my friends, everyone around me saw all the bruises and broken blood vessel under my eye, the bruises on my head, the missing chunks of hair, the split lip, the black eye, the swollen nose, all that because you're stronger.
Remember, he's suing. In December 2018, Heard wrote a piece for the Washington Post headlined, "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath." The op-ed mentioned the sexual assault she suffered in college, but did not name Johnny Depp. But he says that article ruined his reputation and his career. Now, today's testimony was at times bizarre, and it seemed to completely undermine his direct testimony, most notably surrounding the claim that Heard had severed Depp's finger. Yesterday, during direct examination, he said this.
Takes the second bottle, which is the larger one. I'm in this position again, and my hand is on the edge of the bar, like that, you know, leaning over, the fingers like that, and She threw the large bottle, and it made contact. Then I looked down and realized that the tip of my finger had been severed.
Well, it appears that may not have been exactly how it went down.
Fight you're talking about, I don't know.
I'm talking about Australia, the day that
Now we're talking about Australia. Okay. Yes.
You hear that? And you said the day I chopped my finger off? Let's play it again. Let's
That'd
do it
be
again.
great, thank you.
Fight you're talking about, I don't know.
I'm talking about Australia, the day that
Now we're talking
my
about
finger off.
Australia. Okay.
Are you sure that's
Yeah, let's do it one more time. 'cause
what
you
I'm
actually
saying?
don't-
Or is it the day that I got my finger chopped off?
No, you say the day that I chopped my finger off.
Depp even sent a text message that, yes, he did it. Yesterday, we discussed how after his finger was cut, he said he wrote messages in blood.
In the middle of some sort of nervous breakdown, I started to write with my blood, in my own blood, on the walls. Little reminders from our past that essentially represented lies that she had told me and lies that I had caught her in.
And now, it seems, that was mostly paint. And that one of the messages was about Heard's former co-star, Billy Bob Thornton.
You dipped your finger in paint after suffering an injury.
Yes.
And then you used that finger to write on objects in the house. Yes or no?
Yes, that was after after writing on the walls, the blood had kind of dried.
So on this, which you wrote on with your severed finger, you wrote in some mix of paint or blood, starring Billy Bob and Easy Amber.
Yes, sir.
Miss Heard arrived directly in Australia from filming the film London Fields in England with Billy Bob Thornton, correct?
That's correct.
Joining me now, Anjanette Levy, reporter for Law and Crime Network, which I founded. Anjanette, thanks for coming back on the program. Today does not seem to have gone well for Johnny Depp.
No, I think the text messages were really bad. The one about the witch and burning her and drowning her. A source close to Johnny Depp says that that was a reference to a Monty Python movie. However, that clip of that Monty Python movie says nothing about doing something to her corpse that is pretty obscene. And I think that the video doesn't make him look good. Granted, he was doing things with cabinets, slamming them, kicking them. He was upset about something, but it does look like he is somebody who's capable of lashing out when he's upset about something.
And it seems that he was very concerned about her having affairs, either with Billy Bob Thornton or James Franco. Let's play. This is the question about the concerns about an affair with James Franco, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a heated discussion on the telephone with Miss Heard about what was happening with James Franco, the scene she was doing with James Franco? Answer, I do not recall, but it is highly likely. Did I read that right?
You did.
And you suspected that Amber was having an affair with James Franco, correct? That was the reason for your argument.
Yeah, yes.
Again, at the beginning of this case, I thought to myself, I have no idea why he's bringing it. Then I watched his direct examination, and I thought, okay, he's doing this for the court of public opinion. He wants to get hired again. He wants to get jobs again. But now we're back to the point where you have to say that this is maybe doing him more damage than it is good.
Well, Dan, all of this stuff came out in the London trial, okay? So he had to know. He was on the stand, by the way, in the London trial for 5 days, okay? So we're now at like 2.25 days, even if that or really a day and a quarter, I should say, for cross-examination. So, and the attorney, Ben Rottenborn, said there was going to be a lot more to come. So on Monday, we're going to get an earful too. So he knew this stuff was going to come out. He knew it. So it makes you think like, well, what else is there then? You've got all this stuff suggesting that you could potentially become violent, even though you're saying that you never hit her. She's talking about bruises in a recording. That sounds really bad. So it's just very strange. And I do have to say the thing about James Franco and being worried she was having an affair and the scenes they were shooting with Billy Bob Thornton, it takes me back to when he said he first met her. And when he said that he felt something he felt he shouldn't have felt when he had that shower scene with her and they were kissing. So that really makes me think that he was kind of thinking back to how he became attracted to her and thinking it was going to happen with somebody else.
And to be clear, he lost the London trial. A judge there deeming that he could not successfully sue the son over accusing him of being a wife beater because there was overwhelming evidence that actually seems to be the case. Anjanette Levy, thank you. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.